that supposed to be, available for us. So if we have that Murphy moment, stuff like that, it's like, who do I reach out to? Because I can't trust anybody. I don't know where to turn, and it's it's at one of those things. It's very difficult for a veteran to run into that Murphy unit and then not know what to do. Don't have anybody to reach out to, and this is where Chris has noticed that a while back, about hey, this is a black hole here that we don't have filled, and then we get people together like Ed and myself and the rest of the team, and we all see the same mission that needs to be taken care of, and we'll get it taken care of. But it like you said, the unicorns are out there, but that's not everybody, so we got to take care of the rest of the guys.
Those unicorns could help take care of the rest of us, and that's it. Doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you have a good transition or not. We all miss that camaraderie that we have.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you run away to the furthest remote location in the United States, you still have that, man. Like I miss that time that I had with my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah.
I miss that. A lot of people strive to fill that void with unhealthy things.
Yeah. Well, our poll that we did a while back, that poll that we did a while back shows the camaraderie. So go ahead.
I want to say that. I want to say that actually the organization that we actually created actually solves that problem for me, which is amazing because I've been to other organizations, I've been in everything else, but I've never talked to veterans in my life for the last 4 years that I got out. Besides you guys, like literally, like this actually started something new, and I'm not even just talk, but actually help each other out, and feel like Mr. Finch is like a father to me, and Joe's like a father to me, But specifically, Mr. Finch, he had a specific goal, a little something that's special is the business aspect, right? But no matter what, that camaraderie of feeling like we're back in the military, in the armed forces, it's there. And it's this system. The reason I think it works that way is because we mimic the military. Our rank structure is mimicked on the military. Yes, our active duty version will have, if you were a Navy officer or a Navy personnel or an Air Force, that's your real rank, because we don't want people to fraternize and mess up the military structure. So we want to make sure your rank is your rank. But on the civilian side, we did a more cost-effective solution of sticking with the Army because it's the largest branch, and on top of that, our command structures. So that camaraderie also applies to what you want to do in life. So if you want to help somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder, we have our MedCom command, right? For example, we voted in individual who owns 9 to 5 club, No More 9 to 5 club, into the MedCom command. We voted in Clayton Sims, the CivDiv individual, into the Special Forces Command. He has over 30,000 veteran followers, following his VA claims, right? We're getting every person, whether an influencer or impact company or impact organization like yourselves, everybody's coming along with us, and we want everybody to continue to spear together, man. So there we go. Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
You're good, dude.
We're just listening.
Yeah, we were
listening.
Well, we were all in the chat saying, "Hey, let's trick Chris really quick and act really slow and still."
We were waiting for the 1.0 to click to 2.0 so that it can neutralize. And
Well, I just-
Trey,
But that's one of the biggest things. It really hit home with me, and it said, "Wow, okay, I'm going to stick with this program. I'm not going to step out yet." Like as Mr. Finch said, we can be in 4 to 8 years. We're mimicking the United States military, but also the executive branch as well, since presidency, vice presidency, Senate, right? So we're trying to mimic our constitutional United States, right, on as well. So that way we can move on. Joe can get voted in, or Yogi can become the VP, or Chris 2.0 can become the president of HUNDO. That way, you know, why? Why? Because it's always fresh, and corruption always corrupts ultimately. So if no matter what, we want to make sure, and being that this is a generational thing that we're trying to solve over 2,500 years of written history, right? Since the last time you were actually given the proper treatment as a veteran was during the Roman era. You would get property, land. You would, after your military service, you would be given a tremendous amount of. You would be given a stipend. You would be given all these other things as a military service member to its nation. Right? That hasn't happened in 2,500 years. The United States comes the closest. You know, you get property taxes if you're 100% disabled, right? But if you're not, but you served your country and those kind of things, right? And giving to the democratic world, you know. So we're trying to do our part on an educational way to solve that problem, and setting people up for success. Because we can't be the government, we can't be the United States government, we can't be the Roman Empire, we can't be the other organizations. We don't have the capability, but we have another way to do it. Is to make sure to uplift you to the next level, and being able to do it together on that camaraderie level.
and I know we talked about a
go
little
ahead,
bit during the and I'm sidetracking a little bit, but a friend of ours who's also been on the podcast, Charles McKinney, he's really close to you, Ed. He's actually in England. So we already have a community out there, and we have service members that have been and have left and retired outside of the United States, right? Some are in the Philippines, some are in Japan, some of them are in the um, um, Guam and other communities. But part of his vision was also not to just make it the American Armed Forces resources, but also the military and the veterans across the world from all the branches, as you mentioned earlier on our one-on-one podcast, about being able to bring some of the service members that you guys had already served with in previous times to be able to come here and be a part of this.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've set up our organisation to serve those who've served in the United States military, but we recognise that veterans are all over the world, and the important part for us is that we want to establish ourselves and establish our systems so that we can reach veterans all over the world. That's our big vision. We want to get to that point. It's going to take time. It's going to take huge resources. The thing is not to rush that. So that's the important bit. But yes, the way that veterans are treated all over the world is pretty similar. The issues are similar. The issues are huge. As Chris mentioned, the politics side, it's not only that we don't want to be a government, we don't want to get involved heavily in politics. We want to stay away from the political system and not getting too involved in that. But inevitably, we're going to attract political attention because of the work that we're doing. But yes, veterans move all over the world. They serve in one country, even in active duty, as you all well know, you're serving all over the world. The object of this is, how do we reach all of those veterans? How do we reach the 3 million active duty American military personnel serving all over the world? Well, it's a big challenge, and we have got ways of doing that. We have planned it. and we have got the ability to do that over time, and we will get there as quickly as we can, making sure that we do a solid job of it. But yeah, as Chris was saying, the issues are huge. The issues are thousands of years old. We've only been going a few months already, but we're building a solid foundation, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there fast.
Vince, can you pick up how why it's important, also why we go slow but also go fast, because veteran lives are at risk right now. Can you reiterate on that, please? I think we lost. Can you hear me?
The signal is carrying across the pond to the other pond. So there's a slight delay and there's some feedback. He's moving. He's alive, but he's muted. And he's coming. And we're moving.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect example that we live globally. We live globally, literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Mr.
Yeah.
Fish, could you explain that about our fastest slow, slowest fast system, that veteran lives are currently at risk, and why we're trying to hurry up as quick as we can, but also moving deliberately as slow as we can?
Yeah, the important part is that we're very conscious of the saddest part of all is the suicide rates. And somebody's taking their lives about every minute and a half. Somebody takes their life, a veteran takes their life, and that is very hard to bear. It's a very hard fact, and that makes us want to speed up. But the fact is, we owe it to those veterans to take the time necessary to do things right, to put into place the right foundations. We owe it to all the future veterans whose lives are at risk one way or another to make sure that we get this right and we put into place all the resources, a solid foundation, that we make sure that we've brought in as many partner organizations as possible so that we can meet all of the veterans' needs in one place by working collectively, by being collective, by bringing all the resources, all the organizations. You mentioned how many non-profits there are out there. Well, not all of those want to work together. It's just the truth. Not all of them want to work together, and it's endemic across the world. Those that are happy to work together, those that do share the same vision, are more than welcome to come and join us. And this is not us wanting to take control. This is us wanting to work in partnership. There's a key question that we always ask every partner organization that comes to us. And we ask a similar question to every member. We're not asking what can you do for us? What can you do for the veteran community? We're asking, what do you need in return? What can we do for you? We ask that of organizations who want to come work with us and support veterans, the same as we ask people, the members of the veterans who come join us. We say, yeah, would you like to support the veteran community? What can you do for the veteran community? And we ask also, what can we do for you? And how can we help you achieve your aspirations for your life and where you want to go? So when organizations join us, we want to know how we can empower them with all the resources we've got. And there's different ways. Some organizations just want to increase their reach to reach more veterans. Some organizations need support with marketing and publicity or organization development. It could be all kinds of things. It doesn't matter. Share what you need. And if it's in our power, we will share that with you and we'll help you. But we're working together for the same goals. We want to make sure that we do that and we do it solidly, and we make sure that we're not letting people down. Sadly, there are going to be lives lost. People are going to take their lives in the meantime. We can't avoid that. it weighs heavily on our minds. But if we don't get this right, far more lives will be lost. So it's very, very important that we get this right and we get it solidly built and we move forward together and solve this problem once and for all.
And that's a very, very big problem to solve, right? And as you mentioned, this is not something that any one of us can do by ourselves. For anyone that has listened to this before, um, I myself have struggled with SI for over 15 years due to incidents in the military. However, it's the only way that I found to be able to cope with that was by um, helping out the rest of my service members uh, deal with that. And you unfortunately, you cannot be empathetic or sympathetic really unless you have really struggled with it yourself. Because you really have no idea where that's coming from, right? You can have all the training in the world, but it doesn't resonate. And with that, it's very difficult to talk about that problem. It's very difficult to address that problem. But having the support out there that really cares is one of the most important steps that we can take in order to take that, and then having a wide net and a wide reach. With that, I mean, some of the resources for anyone that is struggling or who is going through crisis, the veteran helpline 988. Please, 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 please reach out and ask for help if you or someone that you know is struggling. Also, do your service member or veteran a solid. This is very, depending on who you talk to, is very controversial. A lot of people will say, "Hey, don't ever get the emergency response team members involved or other things." However, I would disagree, right? The reason why I would disagree with that is because one, especially if they're not close to you, you will not be able to get there in time, or have someone get there in time, especially if they don't answer the phone or are there with them. And then two, at the end of the day, we can provide as much support as we can, but we're not trained professionals. And we don't want to be part of the problem. We want to be part of the solution. And yes, some you may or may not lose some friends allegedly if you call the emergency responders. But at the end of the day, I personally will be happy knowing that that service member, that veteran, um, was taken care of, even if they don't want to speak to me forever, versus having to carry in my conscience the fact that I didn't have the strength to call an emergency responder. So again, if this is something that you're struggling with, or you know someone that is struggling with, please do yourself and do them a favor and help them out with the right help, right? Don't keep it to yourself. Don't hide it. Don't try to deal with it. Uh, if they're dealing with it, you don't know why. You're not a trained professional. And even if you are, but if you're too close to home, if let's say it's your partner or your best friend, you're emotionally entangled with them. Get someone else, a third party, to be able to help. Sorry, I digressed. I went into more of a different track, but it's important that we address that, because it's a huge struggle that we face.
Yeah, we partnered with other organizations such as Vet Talk and other organizations that if you just want to talk to somebody or things like that. We also have on our websites the hotlines that are trained professionals, medical professionals, and things like that. So we know exactly our limitations and what where we need to improve also as an organization. So, totally cool.
Yeah. Hey, I really do appreciate you guys coming on here. I know Yogi also appreciate you guys coming on here and being part of the Mil2Vet tribe. And I definitely look forward to working with you guys and being a part of the community that welcomes veterans back into the community, and also as a resource where those who are going into the military can start getting their overall plan, and those transitioning service members can start learning from veteran stories that you guys all gave a little bit of your story for them to glean some stuff from. So I really do appreciate you guys coming on here with me. And one thing that really I just want to make sure that everybody hears is the community that comes together and welcomes those veterans back is a strong community. And we, being veterans, are part of that community. And instead of just sitting around wondering when it's going to happen, let's just start doing something about it. Let's be that change.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is if you want to become a leader, guess what? We cultivate leaders too. That's all we do. We literally cultivate leaders. We have manuals that are meant to cultivate those leaders ready to take on the next challenges. You know, not everybody's willing to do it, but guess what? We can be motivated. So thank you so much, Chris Point 2.0. Appreciate it. Hey, he's the upgraded version of me.
Okay. I'm sure that's what you originally meant, right?
That is going to stick. That's for sure.
Yep.
That is going to stick.
Well, I think we're going to have a long-lasting relationship, Mil2Vet and HUNDO, absolutely, because you guys do a fantastic job. You guys are doing wonderful things for veterans and society on a whole, having a social impact as well. So I think without a doubt, we're going to be having a strategic relationship for a long time because you guys are going to be hopefully the tip of the spear for us with hey, go listen to this podcast if you really want to know what's going on in as a veteran or active duty. And as you brought up, Yogi, that we want to create not just the United States, but the United States is our first trial and make sure it gets done correctly. We also want to apply this to the 31 allied nations, our system that is effective and efficient. So once we are 100% voted in, again, that democracy system that, hey, we're ready to take on our other allies, Canada, France, England, and rebuild those individuals, we're going to just project the first world nation into like the future Star Trek level stuff. So we're just going to be cyborg type level, We're going to become the Borg, I think, as Mr. Finch used to say.
Yeah, that's all awesome. Yogi, does anybody have any last words before we close out the live today?
I'm jealous of that coffee.
Thank you guys.
That coffee mug, I'm jealous. I don't got that one.
You see any resemblance?
It's got Mil2Vet on the bottom. Did you see the bottom? You go on the
It
bottom.
got magically refilled. So here we go.
What do you got, Joe?
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you definitely having us on here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really quick before we dart out of here, you guys want to run into Mil2Vet. We have some organizations that we're going to go support and vet out. One that we're vetting right now, live online, is HUNDO Club. All right, go take a look at them. You see all their information scrolling at the bottom. Please make sure that you guys check out the resources. And if you don't need it, why don't you just share it with somebody that you know that probably does need it? And shoot, even throw your information at them and say, hey, I'm in this area and I could help out if needed. That just doing that, being a member, and so that way, if there's somebody in need in your immediate area, you could be the change for someone that needs it. HUNDO Club is a great organization, and there's some future events that are coming up. If you want to look at what our episodes are going to be doing, go to Mil2Vet.com. Take a look at our calendar. You can see whose episodes are going to be releasing. We just started advertising that. I want to do a shout out to an organization that I plan on attending. We are going to be at the Veteran Resource Fair at the Tacoma Dome. When I say we, I mean myself. Yogi, I don't think it's going to make an appearance.
But it's which is 1 and 1.
Yeah. So we will be there at the Tacoma Dome, and this will also be in our calendar as well. So take a look at that. Join the Mil2Vet newsletter and find out more resources that are out there that you may not know about. So let's see. Yogi, you got any closing words, brother?
HUNDO Club, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this, and thank you for trying to be a part of the solution. And then we want to make sure that we keep on improving, being part of the ability to continue to grow and be successful and be part of the change that we want in the world. So again, thank you so much, and can't wait to continue growing with y'all. Joe, thank you. I know you were part of the service a little while back. Thank you for still staying engaged. Chris, aka as your name said, 1.0. Thank you. Thank you for
Yogi, you changed my name.
Wait, what
I
happened?
didn't even
What
notice it. You got me.
I saw that.
I'm like, son of a gun. Seriously.
We just made history. Gentlemen. We just
Oh,
made
man.
history.
Ed, thank you for being helpful across the pond. Thank you for wanting to make a change and continuing to, again, do something for us and be a part of us. So without further ado, thank you again, and we'll stay connected. We'll see what we can do to make the change that needs to be made.
No one left behind. That's it.
Absolutely.
And one last thing. President John F. Kennedy said, if you want to do something for your country, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I think every single one of us is doing that from the bottom of our heart. So, thank you.
Amen.
Thank
Copy
you.
that.
Chris, take us out.
All right, brothers and sisters. Hey, it's your transition. It is not all rainbows and unicorn. Take charge of your transition. Mil2Vet out.